welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Takia Coleman and I am back with another video. So what is up? If you guys don't already know, I'm a South Florida realtor and relocation specialist. So today I wanted to come and bring you guys a video for all of my fellow realtors. I thought this would be great information for you guys out there who are looking for leads but you don't want to pay up front. So of course I do have another video that also tells you how to generate leads for buyers. So make sure you check out that video once it's posted. But today we're going to be talking about the famous Opcity. So if you haven't heard about Opcity, Opcity is pretty much an app where you can get leads. Now, the best thing about it, like I said before, is you don't have to pay up front. However, you will have to pay a commission towards the end. Now, when it comes to Opcity, Opcity is very similar to Realtor.com. Of course, if you ever look it up, you may see Realtor.com on their site because most likely Realtor.com generated this whole Opcity app. Now, the difference between Opcity and Realtor.com, you could pay for your leads and you'll get the leads right up front. And of course, these leads may be better leads than you would get from a free source. So that's why I kind of consider Opcity as a free source. However, you will have to pay a percentage of your commission at closing. I've been using this app for almost a year now since I became a realtor. I think I started using it 2 months after I became a realtor. So the way that I would describe Opcity is kind of like if you ever did Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, or Postmates or something like that. I say it's the Uber for real estate. So pretty much when you first get a lead, you get to sign up and say exactly what you want. You get to say what price range you want to cater to. You get to say if you want to do buyers, sellers. You could pick both if you want. You could pick leases or anybody who's looking to invest. So that's the cool part about it. And then you also get to say what kind of location and area you want as well. So you can make sure that you're getting leads in the exact area that you're looking for. Now, when I first started the app, I was getting a lot of leads back and forth. Like, you have to be quick. So when they give you an alert, you'll have your notifications set up and it'll start ding-a-ling-a-ling. It'll start ringing and it'll let you know that you have a lead. But you have to move quickly because you're not the only realtor on there who's trying to get a lead. So as soon as it comes in, you either get the option to claim the lead or you can skip. Now, the thing is, if you start skipping stuff because you want to be picky, it'll tell you exactly what the person is looking for. It'll tell you the price range, the city, if they're buying, selling, and things like that. So you get a little glimpse of what kind of person you're going to get beforehand. But that's why you got to be quick. Sometimes I just look at the price point and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to take it. Or I'm like, it's $100,000. I'm in Miami. You can't really get nothing for that. So I'll let it wait and then I'll skip. Because there's like some pros and cons to skipping. So you get to know upfront what kind of client you're going to get at hand, but you don't get the whole full details. So when you skip a client, after a while, you know how on Pandora, when you don't have the subscription membership and you keep pushing skip, and then after like the third or fourth skip, it's going to tell you, you can't skip anymore. You have to pay for it. So when you skip, it kind of red flags you. So they give you like a scoreboard of how you're doing in response to claiming people, skipping people, and stuff like that. You want to be careful to not skip too many people. Now that refrains back to the part of you going back to the settings. If you feel like you're getting people out of your budget or whatever your price range that you don't want, you can up your budget. But what I have realized, when you be really picky and you when they see that you're trying to only get like the high buyers and stuff like that, you tend to get less leads. The more you have your options open, the better you'll get a response. I know it may suck at times to get the leads that aren't as good, but there may be a few in there that are decent. So after you claim your lead, it's going to tell you, congratulations, you got a new lead. And then within like 1 to 3 minutes, they're going to call you, the person with Opcity, and they're going to say, hey, I have Jane on the line. She's looking to purchase in California for $300,000. She's been approved or she hasn't been approved. They'll let you know up front. Is this someone you feel like you can work with? So then you could tell them on the phone yes or no, because sometimes you may click yes and then you might change your mind. So you could tell them on the phone yes or no, and then he's going to say, okay, I'm going to connect you. So he's going to put you through. Now, once he puts you through, you get to talk to the client. You can do like a little questionnaire prospecting to see exactly what they're looking for and things like that. Some of the cons that I've actually gotten probably 3. I've got a lot of people who came through. Now, the thing with this app is a lot of these people aren't qualified. to purchase a home, or they're not in a position where, you know, you would want a lead to be in. And that's why it's free up front, because you have to nurture these people. One time I got somebody who came through and she was like, oh, I want to buy $100,000 house. And she started naming all of these things. I want 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I want everything to be new in the home. I want like all of these things. So I'm like, okay. And she wanted to be on Miami Beach. So if you ever been to Miami, you know Miami Beach is very high price. So I'm like, okay. So this is the kind of thing, you may get some people like that. I had somebody who was like, yeah, he's ready. And then when you start going through the process of either trying to connect them with your lender, they either don't respond or they don't want to do a pre-approval, or like their criteria is, you probably can't find because it kind of doesn't make sense. I also got a client before who it was really good. Her pre-approval amount was high. It was like in the 500,000s. And they'll tell you what house they're looking at. So these are people who are pretty much searching on the internet late at night, probably got their drink, and they're looking on the internet and they're finding houses, and then they may pick a house. So I got like 5 people who did this. They pick a house, and so I called to see if the house is still available, if they're able to show. For this particular lady, they just did their open house like yesterday, and they were accepting offers today. So, and it was like 8 at night when she selected to go on Opcity. So I called, I was able to get in touch with the agent. And then when I told her, I'm like, look, they already selected their offer and things like that. So I'm like, okay, you know what? But it's okay. I'm going to send her some properties that look the same and stuff like that. So I started sending her stuff to her email because it gives you their phone number and their email. I started sending her stuff to her email, and then she blocked me. So those are some of the things that you may come across. Now, I did get 3 qualified leads that I've worked with. One, he was from Canada, only wanted to be in this one building, but they were only taking cash. And the thing is, he only wanted to spend exactly $150 flat. So then I also had a client, he was from California, and her mom lived down here. So when we first started working together, she went from wanting a condo to, oh no, I want a townhouse, but no, I can't do a townhouse because of the stairs. So let's try a single family. She only wanted to be in one city, Hialeah, if you're familiar with it. And I was like, okay, cool. It was easy because she only wanted to be in one city, and houses were popping up every week. I even took her mom to see a house on Thanksgiving with my children in the car. That's how desperate I was in the beginning of being a realtor. Like, I was like, I have to get another sale. That's how bad I wanted another sale. Around Christmas time, she decided that she wanted to wait and slow down because, you know, the market and things like that. So I was like, okay, cool. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to lose another person. And it's crazy too, around Christmas time and Thanksgiving, the app started slowing down. So before, when I used to get like 3 or 4 dings a day, I was starting to get like 1 a week or 2 a week. Spring break came, which is in March. She said, oh, I'm going to travel down there and then we can go look at properties. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So I scheduled stuff. I had everything ready. She finally came. We went to go see places, and then she picked one. She loved it, absolutely loved it. It was between this condo and a single family. But the single family, it was out of the price range of what she wanted to spend, and the owners were not budging on the price. So we went with the condo. So she loved the condo. The condo was very beautiful. They did nice work in there. It had a nice view and everything. We went on the contract. So I'm like, yes, I got one. I finally did it. I got it. So we went on the contract. We did our inspection. For the inspection, it came back to where the roof is a part of the association. So that was something we could have talked to them to see if they had an assessment coming up or anything like that. So it was a roof, something with the electrical box, but I think it was just unplugged. So she said she had a cousin, and she sent the inspection to the cousin, and he was like, oh, that's going to be like $10,000. So it kind of scared her. But then also on the other end, I feel like she was just looking for a reason to back out because she used the inspection as one. But then the other one, she said that the person who was going to rent with her mom no longer wanted to rent. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, but you know, I could find a person to rent if you need it. Like, if she needs a roommate, like coming up with all of these alternatives. Like, yes, we could still do this or whatever the case may be, because I really wanted to help her. So she backed out. She backed out right before the inspection period. And she said she no longer wanted to look. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, I even got her to convert to my lender. So we finally converted. When we did convert to our lender before this whole situation, he ran the numbers and got her pre-approved and stuff like that. So she was already pre-approved with some kind of bank, but it wasn't like a legitimate bank because it was nobody to talk to. It was like an online kind of pre-approval. So after the deal happened and we couldn't go forward because of the inspection, a week or two later, my lender called me and he was like, "Hey, are you guys still looking for homes?" And I'm like, "No." She said she didn't want to look anymore. So he said, "Oh, well," she called me and asked me about a house that was next door and to see what would be the mortgage and stuff like that. So I'm like, "Huh?" So I called her. She ignored my calls. I called again another day. It went to voicemail. So I was going to give up. But then I decided to call again. So I called again and she finally answered. And she was like, "Yeah, the neighbor next to her mom's house, he's selling her house for sale by owner, FISBO." So I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Well, do you need a realtor to help you do the whole situation?" And she was like, "He doesn't want to pay for a realtor." So as you know, for sale by owners, for anybody who's new watching this video, FISBOs is what they call them. They don't like to work with realtors because they feel like, realtors are liars and they can do it cheaper themselves. So she decided she wanted to go that route and he didn't want to pay. And then I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So every day she kept calling me to ask me how to do this and I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, "But look, that's the reason why I came along, because I have the resources to help you with everything that you need." And of course, she wouldn't have had to pay for it if we worked together because, as you know, buyers don't have to pay realtors. The sellers are the ones that pay the realtors. So I was like, "Okay, well, if he doesn't want to pay the 2%, you could pay me the 2%. She didn't want to do that. So I kind of sent her an email with all of the details of like, "Look, I can't work for free. If you would like my services or my support, I'll take a small percentage." And after that, she never wrote back. So that was another one I had on Opcity. I almost forgot to tell you guys how I almost got scammed on Opcity. So this person was one of my first people who I got on Opcity. It was a seller and they were selling land. So like I told you, you don't really see a lot of people selling, but this was my first one. They were selling land and I was like, "Oh good, this is gonna be easy." So the land that he was selling was in Plantation. It was a big lot and I was like, "Man, this looks good." I was a little bit nervous because I'm like, I hope this is good. And I was asking my mentor and she was like, "Just look on the property search." So I looked on the property search. His name matched the name that was on the account for Opcity. So I didn't think nothing of it because I'm thinking Opcity does their own, screening to make sure everything is legit. So, and I talked to him, he had like a thick accent, kind of African, but he was like, he's not in town right now, he's in Philly, and he just wanted to get rid of the land. So I'm thinking maybe he had it for some time, maybe he needs some quick money, so he just wanted to sell it. He decided to do this as a wholesale deal because the land was a good piece of land for whatever he wanted. He just wanted $200,000 flat, he didn't care. So we ended up finding a buyer who would do the wholesale deal. And when it started getting like we was about to go on the contract and start looking at the documents, because it would have been a quick close, they asked me, "How did you find this person?" And I'm like, "He was on Opcity. I got him through Opcity." So they were like asking for his identification or whatever. So he sent me something, but you can make fake identification as well. So they ended up going to the neighbor's house next to the land to ask them, like, "Hey, do you know this person? Do you have their number? Because I want to just make sure to see if they're selling the property." And the man was like, "They're not selling the property. They're about to build." So he gave them the actual number to the actual person who owns the property. And they said that they were not selling. So it ended up being fraud, like it was a scam. I knew because the title company said they're starting to get a lot of scam situations with land, and that the person will claim that it's their land and they want to sell it for like a short amount of money. So we almost got scammed. And I wanted to cry so bad because I'm like, "Oh my God, I was this close to closing my second deal." And I thought because it was on Opcity that it would have been legit. I called Opcity and I was like, "Hey, the deal that I was trying to close, it was a scam. It was fraud." He was like, "Oh, we don't usually get that on here." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should probably investigate and look deeper into it because it was actually fraud, a scam." So I was so disappointed and I was about to get off of that app so fast, but I just decided to keep going. I was kind of embarrassed too because I put under contract, like I had my second deal, and this was like, "Oh, I'm knocking it out. I just closed my first deal." And yeah, it was scary. So beware, be careful on the app. You never know what you're going to get. Make sure you look at identification, make sure it looks legit, because everything he gave us, it looked legit. The moral of the story is with Opcity, you're going to get some runarounds. You may have a small percentage of people who are serious about purchasing a home, but I have seen people who say that it has been a success for them and they have closed deals, they have made millions of dollars. So to each his own. I think it just depends on what kind of person you get and also what kind of realtor you are. I would recommend it. Every time I say I'm going to get off of Opcity, I don't. I stay on there because I feel like it's a free lead. You never know, you might get one. And that's what I'm praying for, that one day I finally get one. It has its pros and cons, but you won't always get a legitimate lead, but you are going to get leads. And these are people who you can nurture and put in your CRM, and maybe eventually you might get a referral from them. So I would say use it, check it out and see. They do have the option, if you find somebody who you feel like is wasting your time or you're not getting anywhere, they're tired of looking, they don't want to look anymore, or they're not responding to you, you can actually release that person back into Opcity. Or you can, like if it's somebody who you need to build credit or they need to get their income in order, you can hold off on them and put them like on a time frame of a month, 3 months. So that's cool too, because now another thing that I didn't mention, if you don't claim people, or you're not using the app, or you're not responding, then they're going to start lowering your score. So you have to make sure that they're going to ask you every week, okay, how's this person doing? What's the status? Do you need to update anything? So after you get off the phone with them, you have like about a few hours where you can say, okay, I spoke with this person, I met with this person. I haven't met anybody in person unless like we've actually really gone through the process and we got a pre-approval. So you got to be safe, because even though it's an app and you feel like, oh, it's with realtor.com, that doesn't necessarily mean you can go out there and meet everybody. So I would still say take caution as to how you're working on this app and when you're meeting people. Step of the way, like for the lady I had, as soon as I went under contract, I could put under contract that we went under contract. You could write notes in there. You could also text them on that app. You can call them on that app. You could email them on that app. It's probably better if you stay within the app, because then you have notes of everything, the communication that you did. So you could do all of that inside of the app. You don't have to use your own personal phone number. You don't want to. So every step of the way, once you go into contract, once you close, and then they'll have a thing that says, okay, upload this form and submit this information if you're about to close. So you can let them know all of the details that you're about to close. Don't update the status of how you're doing with the person or what point you're on or how's it going. Then they're going to suspend your account. They'll suspend it at first, and then if you don't respond, then they'll totally kick you out. So I heard from other realtors that they got kicked out because they weren't responsive with the app. So you got to make sure that you're following up with them to let them know how's it going or what's the status and everything like that. But I think I covered everything. Make sure you comment below what you think. If you have tried Opcity, what did you think about the app? Have you gotten any leads? Have you closed any deals? And if not, let me know some other apps, if you know of any, where you could generate leads and not pay such a big amount. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed this information, and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, that like button, and that notification bell so you can see any videos that I post. You'll be the first one to know about it. You guys have a good one. Stay safe. Peace.